Hi all. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and today guys, we are going to talk about new releases. It's been a little bit since I've talked about new releases. Some interesting things have actually come out, which is shocking. So let's get into it. I guess I'm going to put my trusty glasses on for this because you're going to be able to read. So I have to say, these past maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, how long has it been since my last new makeup releases? Maybe almost a month. I feel like in that time, some interesting things have dropped. And I want to talk about a few of them that I have actually purchased. Yes, I purchased some things, which I haven't done in a minute, I have to say. I mean, I've picked up a few things here and there, but I actually bought things. So that's surprising. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is this new Danessa Myricks, and I believe it's the Mini Lightworks. What's it called? It is called the Dream Palette, the new Pastel Dream Palette. And this is in the same type of component as the last palette that she released, where you could remove the different, like you could remove the shadows and rearrange them. This is in a similar format, but it is pastel. And I'm going to put pictures up so you guys can see what it looks like. I actually purchased this, you guys, and I actually purchased it directly from the Danessa Myricks website. I'm kind of regretting that. I kind of wish I just gotten it at Sephora, but here we are. And the reason why I'm regretting it is it's taking it forever to get here, like forever. It took them 4 days to ship it. And then it's finally showing as out for delivery. So allegedly it's going to be delivered today. Let us hope. But I'm actually really excited for this. And this is going to be only the second Danessa Myricks palette that I've ever purchased. The first one was one of the Mini Lightworks, which I like, but I don't use very often. And even with this one, as much as I like it, and the reason why I was fine with purchasing it is that I thought the price point was fairly reasonable. And I also really love the colors for spring, you know, the pastels, pastels for spring, groundbreaking. But I just think it's a really cool concept, the way you can move the shades around. And I also really like the fact that she included a brown, so it's not just these like bright, or not bright, but these really soft, very white based pastels, that there is a brown to sort of like anchor it a little bit and give it a little bit more usability. The other item I purchased, and this was revealed while I was at Creators and Friends, and we were all sitting around by the pool, as you do, and someone mentioned, I think it was Angie, was like, it was either Angie or Allie who was like, oh, Glamlight just sneak peeked or just teased that they're coming out with a Lord of the Rings collection. And all of us nerds, all of us Lord of the Rings nerds were like, what? And I had literally just finished, well, not literally, but I just finished the Silmarillion like maybe a week or two prior. I am a Lord of the Rings gal. I love the movies, but I love the books. I'm all about source material. So I was actually very intrigued by this, but I was being cautiously optimistic because I was like, it's either going to be great or I may hate it. And what actually wound up happening is something very much down the middle, where they revealed it and I put the picture up of the palette. There are other things in the collection, but the palette is what I wanted to focus on because I think it's the most interesting. It's 20 shades. This is what the palette looks like. It's based on Middle Earth. I don't know if they're going to do another one that's based on specific areas of Middle Earth, but this one is just Middle Earth in total. And when I saw it, I was like, huh. I didn't hate it. I wasn't in love with it, but I was intrigued. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, the day it dropped, which I think was either yesterday or day before yesterday, or was it Wednesday? It might have been Wednesday. I ordered it. I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna order it. And I will do a video on it for you guys, because for me, this is more of a for science type of purchased, and it is something that I'm like really excited to try and have in my collection. This is more like I really want to see what they're putting down. I want to show you guys what they're putting down if you're interested. So I have purchased that. That is on its way as well. And then the last thing that I purchased, and then we can get out onto the other items that have been released, is one of the new Stila Chroma Flash liquid liners. And I got the shade Firefly. So I'm going to put pictures up of what the shades look like. So that first there is Peacock. And it's like that standard Peacock flash of duochrome. And then there is, I forget what the other one is called. I think it's Mermaid. Yeah. So Mermaid is the green flash. And then you have Firefly, which is the one that's sort of shift from red to pink to peachy gold. That's the one that I got because that type of shift is my personal fave. So these retail for $26. I got mine at Ulta. It's also available on the Stila website. I don't know if it's available at Sephora yet, but it is available at Ulta on their app and on the website. So yeah, I was just really intrigued by this. I was like, okay, Stila, finally putting something interesting out. I see. Look at you. So yeah, I'm very interested to try this. This is one of the things that I will definitely be trying for you guys, but I did purchase this. So Hourglass has just revealed that they are going to be coming out with ambient lighting customizable quads. So you can choose the shades you want, throw them in the quad and purchase them. I don't know what took them so long to come up with this idea. I think it's very smart, but I also think it's like 3 years too late. Also, I just don't, again, the thing about those ambient lighting powders is I still feel like their shades don't go deep enough. And so for me, I've had some of the ambient lighting powders. I never panned it. I just kind of like wound up just decluttering it. It was a mini, and I'm glad I only got the mini. I was deciding between a mini and a full size, and I decided to get a mini because I didn't know if I'd like the formula, and I'm glad that I did that. I didn't dislike the formula. I thought the formula was lovely. I just kind of fell out of love with it and never like finished it, never went back to it, never thought about it. And so I was like, I should just declutter this, which is what I did. So for me, as pretty as like the packaging for a lot of these are, and although I have to say, one thing I have noticed during their holiday collection 2024, this past holiday season, the packaging just looked really cheap. And from what I understand, it felt really cheap too. So I'm like, if you're asking people to spend that kind of money, you need to like bring it in a, Hourglass is supposed to be a luxury brand. So I'm wondering what these palettes, these customizable palettes feel like. I hope that they're weighty and have some like heft to them and feel quality. But yes, if you like the ambient lighting powder and the quads and, the limited edition ones, this is what's coming out now, and you can customize them, which I think is great. Speaking of brands that I feel like are doing things like 3 to 4, maybe in this case 5 years too late, Chanel has released more shades of their bronzing cream. Wow, groundbreaking. 5 years too late. 5 years. I'm gonna say 5 years too late. It's in Europe. It's not even available in the States yet. It's available now in Europe. So if you live in Europe, you can get these shades. But it is, how many new shades? So they have tan light bronze, tan medium bronze, tan's deep bronze, and tan deep intense bronze. Excuse me. They look great. I have never tried their bronzing cream. I know so many people loved it, but from what I understand, they loved the original formula and then they reformulated it. They like took it off the market, brought it back with no additional shades, by the way, but with a reformulation. So take of that what you will. But yeah, that is now available. I'm sure it eventually will be available in the States, but it is launched in Europe first. e.l.f. is coming out with their version of the Benefit Sheer Tint. They're coming out with their Sheer For It blush tint in how many shades here? And it looks like it's 5 shades. We have Left on Red, which is a sheer red, Cherry Cola, a sheer black cherry, Plums Up, a sheer plum, Pink Positive, sheer pink, and Orange Crush, sheer orange. I was never a huge fan of that tint, so for me, this is an easy pass. But if you like that and you're looking for it in more tones, I like the fact, the one thing I will say is that I'm glad that e.l.f. took that idea and expanded on it, which Benefit has never done. Which is just, again, like what are you doing? If you like this type of formulation and you want to try it in a color that suits you, that you feel, or that you just like more, I think this is a good idea. That cherry cola shade is really pretty. Now let's talk about a product that was shown on this brand's Instagram, and I, along with a bunch of other people, and I got so many replies to my Instagram story about this. Glossier is coming out with a new lip glaze that comes in, let's see here, 5 shades. Let's keep that in mind, 5 shades. The first one is Icy, a clear blue, Frosty, a clear lilac, Chilly, a cool baby pink, Tangy, a coral pink, Creamy, a warm rose, and Melty, a rich red brown. Now I'm going to show you what they look like on the lips of the models. They're all clear. They're all clear. 5 shades of the same shade. At this point, I posted on my Instagram and I said on my Instagram, at this point, I think brands are just trolling us. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is trolling. Like 5 shades at $22 each, mind you, of nothing. This is very much the emperor has no clothes. They could have just come out with 1. They could have even come out with 2. They could have come out with the 2 that they named clear. Icy, a clear blue, Frosty, a clear lilac. No one would have said anything. But the fact that they felt the need to put them on models and show, look at all these shades, and they all look the same, is just boo. Boo, boo to you, Glossier. And for $22, like, what am I paying $22 for? The pigment that doesn't exist? No. Lancome, and they just came out with it. I'm going to talk about it. I think I have pictures of it because I didn't talk about it in my last video, and I thought about it after I'd already like filmed it and edited it, and I was like, dang, I should have talked about this. So Lancome at the end of April dropped some ad photos, some promo photos of a collection that is in Europe. I don't know if it's coming to the US. It's called Cafe Crush, and it's this palette here I'm going to show you guys, and it looks like chocolate. It's beautiful with the swirls, the colors. This feels very fall to me, but I'm also kind of intrigued. I don't know why. Something about this that I'm just like, oh, that's really cute. But this is I believe it's a collab with Sheika, Daley. So it comes with the palette, and then also in the collection is a brown mascara. Now, I actually have the mascara. The mascara is actually something that they came out with before this collection that they kind of wrapped into the collection. So you can get the brown mascara now. I will say, I'm not a huge fan of the Idole mascara in general. I bought the brown one because I really liked the shade, and I do like the shade. But the way that I've been wearing it is using it over my regular mascara because my Iris and Romeo just does a better job for my lashes. But the color of the Lancome one is so nice, and it is a true brown that even over a black mascara, you can still see it. So for that reason alone, I tip my hat to it. But for me, it just doesn't do what I need. If you like the Idole mascara formula, then you'll probably be fine with this. I've never liked it. Again, I bought it for the tone. But on top of this, it looks like they are also coming out with some like lip balms. They're Juicy Tubes, coffee inspired, Cafe Crush. So again, in the Cafe Crush arena. So they're coming out with a lavender latte, a cocoa macchiato, and an almond drip. Again, these are like sheer juicy glosses but these have a hint of sparkle, so you're going to get something out of them. I feel like, no, you're not going to get a lot of color, but you're going to get something out of them. If you want them, they're in Europe. They're probably going to drop here eventually. That Lancome palette, though, I'm kind of interested in. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I'm going to buy it. It's just one of those things that when I look at it, I find it very aesthetically pleasing and tempting, but I don't think I'm going to actually buy it. Let's talk about NARS. So when it comes to eyeshadows, with the exception of my the Climax palette that they came out with some years ago as a holiday limited edition drop, which I still have. It's still one of my favorite palettes in my collection. I love that palette so much. But that's really the only NARS palette that has stood the test of time in my collection. I've had a couple of others that I've decluttered that I just never reached for. So I don't really check for their eyeshadows because they can look quite samey. And when this one was revealed, I first saw it on Clove Room's Instagram, and I'll leave the Instagram link in the description box. They talked about this palette, and I am influenced. But what I find really interesting, and I will say this again, they mentioned that this is very much like can be dupable with a Viseart palette. I can't remember the name of the Viseart palette that is pretty much identical. If I can find it, I will put it down below, like across the screen here. But this is so pretty and it's so springy, and I don't know. I think I'm in that mood of like, this, it's the trees have, the leaves are back on the trees, the sun is out, I don't need a jacket when I go out, and now everything is awesome. It's just like the song, everything is awesome. Because I feel like, we're gonna let this motorcycle go by, let's hold on a minute. I feel like in another time, in another dimension, I wouldn't look twice at this palette, but for some reason when I look at it, I go, oh, that's pretty. But you know what? You know what's also a palette that I own that looks like this palette, that it literally just dropped into my head, is the Pat McGrath Fleur Fantasia quad. And if you know the quad I'm talking about, if I can find a picture of it, I will pop it up on the screen. I own that palette and I never use it. I love it, but I hardly ever use it anymore, but I still own it. So if I want to do this, if I want to like recreate this, I can. So yeah, I just de-influenced myself. Yay me. Also, I want to talk about two palettes that dropped since my last video that I actually received on Creators and Friends while I was on the trip, the retreat. And the first one is the new Sigma Spectrum palette. I have already done a look with this palette on my channel, so I'll try to pop a card up so you guys can check that out. It's a new makeup video, and that is one of the things that I am using. I think it's a chatty get ready with me. I think it's a Chatty Get Ready With Me where I'm talking about jury duty. I could be wrong, but I'll leave it up here. And then also I did a video doing 2 looks with this palette, and this is the Singe Beauty Agate Temptation palette, and that has dropped as well. That is retailing for $45, and I believe the Sigma is $56. I am obsessed with the Agate Temptation palette. I have to say, it's always really exciting when a product comes out that sort of reinvigorates your love for a certain type of product. And that kind of reignited my love for eyeshadow. Like, I've been doing more looks with eyeshadow lately instead of just like one and done, which has been really exciting for me. It's like, oh, I not only do I still like eyeshadow, but I'm actually still really good at, applying eyeshadow. Also, I want to talk about this because this dropped into my inbox about a couple of days ago, and I was really excited about it. But Victoria Beckham Beauty is finally coming out with travel sizes of her eau de parfums. She has 4, so she has 2150 Reverie, Portofino 97, Sweet 302, and San Isidro Drive, and I think that's the name of San Isidro Drive, yeah. And they retail for $58 each, which is pretty expensive for a travel size, but the perfumes themselves are like $300. So it's like, and we know how bougie Victoria is. So, I mean, her price point is on the higher end. So, will I eventually be picking up 1 or 2 of these? Probably not right away, but yes, I will be picking up at least one of these. I'm really interested in the Portofino 97, so I might be picking that one up eventually, but yeah. She has now released travel sizes, finally. Fleurs just announced 2 new body mist scents. They're coming out with a peach skin body and hair fragrance mist, and then a beach skin body and hair mist. So the beach skin is a solar scent with notes of bergamot, salted tiara flower, and sandalwood. And then the peach skin is a fruity floral with peach, vanilla orchid, and white freesia. I love a peach scent in the summer and spring, so that kind of caught my eye a little bit. I have never tried any of Fleur's body mists, but I'm intrigued. I'm also intrigued by the body mists that were teased for, and I think they're actually available now, so I wouldn't even call this a tease, but for Josie Moran Beauty, they are coming out with, or have already come out with, I believe they're called the Cali collection, and it's 4 body mists. The first one is Vanilla Vibes, then you have Golden Hour, Bohemian Fig, and Topless Tangerine. I am really intrigued by these. I did read some of the reviews on Sephora, and the Topless Tangerine, someone says smells exactly like a creamsicle, which is, I don't know if I kind of want something a little bit more like actual tangerine juicy scent. I don't want it to smell like a dessert. So that kind of put me off, but the Bohemian Fig, on the other hand, does sound really interesting. So I don't know. I think I would have to smell these in person. I don't know if they're online exclusives. If they're not, I might just pop into a Sephora to smell these. And then also Vacation is coming out with their 3 eau de toilettes. They're coming out with 3 body mist versions of those. So they have After Sun, Vacation, and Grand Cuvée. I actually purchased the After Sun eau de toilette and I wound up returning it. I wound up returning it because I just didn't like the smell of it. There was something about it that was very, and I don't know if it was what it was in the scent, that it was almost, I mean, I think the whole point is that it's supposed to smell like that feeling of like when you get out of a pool and your skin smells a little bit like chlorine. And the chlorine aspect is what was throwing me off. So it has aloe vera essence, green tea, verjuice, melon de Cavaillon, has other things in it as well. And I think it was those other notes battling, like, because the aloe vera essence sounds amazing to me. The green tea sounds amazing. Melon, amazing. But there's something underneath there that has like a chemical smell that just kind of turned me off to the point where I was like, I'm just going to return it. Also, it's as an eau de toilette, it is a very light scent, like very light. I sprayed it and it lasted maybe a couple of hours, and that was the eau de toilette. So my concern with a body mist, because a body mist has even less perfume oil in it than an eau de toilette, that it's just not going to last at all, like at all, because the eau de toilette functions like a body mist. It lasts for a couple hours, like 2 maybe, and then it's gone. I haven't smelled Grand Cuvée and I haven't smelled Vacation, the fragrance. I will say this, I wear the Vacation sunscreen. I love it. It very much has that like coconut summer sunscreen smell. So if you like that, you might like the fragrance. But I haven't smelled the actual fragrance in person. But yeah, the Grand Cuvée actually sounds really interesting. This one I would be interested in smelling. It has argan, Chardonnay, vanilla bean, and peach eau de vie. I don't know what peach eau de vie is, but sounds amazing. Again, I feel like peach is the thing for spring and summer this year. I'm kind of intrigued, so I might give that a little smell. And I feel like I would be willing to spend $24 on a body mist that didn't last, as opposed to the eau de toilettes, which are like $58, $60. Finally, just the last thing I want to talk about, and this is again in the fragrance vein, I want to talk about the new milkshake collection from Ellis Brooklyn. They're coming up. They have a milkshake hair and body mist collection with three scents: lychee, banana, and mango. I don't know. Again, these are ones I have to smell in person. Like I wouldn't blind buy these. Especially at the price point, they're $35 each. I feel like these body mists are like, they're less expensive than perfumes, but I still feel like some of them, I'm like, for something that lasts for 3 hours on the skin, I don't know if I want to spend $35 on it, you know. But then if it's a scent that I'm like, ooh, maybe, I don't know. I'm interested in smelling the banana one. I'm not a huge banana person, but something about the idea of it being banana milk and vanilla with rum sounds intriguing to me. So I would absolutely smell these in store and see what I thought about them. All right, guys, so that is everything we're going to talk about today. So like I said, I feel like there were some things that dropped that I was actually kind of intrigued by, and I did wind up picking up. And there's some other things that I'm like, maybe. I am planning on a new makeup video, filming a new makeup video. So there are, like I said, there are things that I purchased with that in mind. I have a couple of other new things that are coming up that I'll talk about when they get here and I'm sitting in front of you and I'm applying them to my face. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, how are you feeling now that we're getting towards the tail end of spring, going into summer, and I feel like the releases are a little bit more interesting. Let me know, has anything caught your eye, or have you bought anything? Also, what do you think of the Lord of the Rings collection? Are you excited for it? Are you picking it up? Are you waiting to see more reviews? A review is coming. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.